Perhaps overshadowed by nearby Caribbean rum, South America has deep roots in rum making and in fact predates Caribbean rum. European colonists, 19th century immigrant distillers have shaped traditions. It's time to explore, so let's dive in. Hello, Hendo here, and welcome to Rum Region Deep Dive, South America. In this video, we will explore rum making in the world's fourth largest continent. To learn more about the drinks industry, brand marketing from a global perspective, please like this video, subscribe, but also check out hendotalks.com if you're interested in speaker services or projects. The Portuguese were the first European colonists in Brazil. The Dutch, Spanish, British and French all traded there. The Dutch in northeast Brazil and Guyana, moving sugarcane, sugar production, slaves and rum making north to the Caribbean islands like Barbados. Areas I'll cover here: origins Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Guyana, Paraguay, Peru, Suriname Venezuela. Bolivia, Ecuador and Uruguay also make rum, but we'll focus on the main producers. Starting with origins, geology, supercontinents of Pangaea and Gondwana broke up, opening of South Atlantic Ocean and creation of the Andes Mountains. South America split apart from Africa 130 million years ago, separated from Antarctica in the last 50 million years. Amazon rainforest, the Andes volcanic belt, longest continental mountain range in the world, Angels Falls waterfall, a dozen desert salt flats, the Amazon River, largest drainage system in the world. South America has it all. There are 12 sovereign countries and most produce rum. First we go to Argentina, better known for its wine. There's only a few distillers. Enyi single estate rum from Tucumán, North Argentina, using Andes mountain spring water, molasses, slow fermentation, slow distilled in Scottish copper pot stills, aged in charred French oak casks. Peters Hermanos, a family of German origin dating back to 19th century in Buenos Aires, known for gin, Geneva maker, but also makes rum. Porta Hermanos, another rum liquor factory with family origins in Europe. Lombardy in Italy. Off to Brazil now. 1532, Portuguese royal family colonised Brazil to expand sugarcane production there. De Souza, Sao Paulo, developed sugar plantations bringing copper pot stills. Slaves had no means to develop the chemistry. Portuguese aristocracy provided the tools. In 1600, from Recife to Rio were sugarlands. Engenho, sugar mill in Portuguese. The Dutch ruled northeast Brazil from 1630 to 1654. Pot stills everywhere, so widespread colonists tried to ban it, but Brazilians kept rising up. 1649 and 1744 it was taxed and helped fund the rebuild of Lisbon after an earthquake. And on the 13th of September every year, Cachaça Day is named after one of those uprisings. Although cachaça is made from sugarcane, it's not regarded as rum. Cachaça can only be made from Brazilian grown sugarcane, usually local varietals, and not aged in oak casks, but local hardwoods like umbrana and zebra wood, but has a distilling limit of 54% as well. There's about 40,000 producers, mostly small. Cachaça was known as Brazilian rum, but in 2013 the US agreed to drop that usage and we don't regard cachaça as rum today. Orinoco rum is distilled from fermented fresh sugarcane juice. Rum Montila since 1957 in the northeast. Senior Weber rum is another brand. Bacardi had a Brazilian distillery in Recife, and BMC Apre distillery produces high volumes for years. You can still buy aged independent bottlings from this distillery just outside Sao Paulo. Next up, Colombia. Colombia had a monopoly. Government distilleries like Caldas and Medellin brands. Colombian rum is often sourced mainly in a Cuban style, molasses, column distilled and aged in American oak barrels. Ron Boyaca and from Tunya in 1924, state-owned. La Hachicera from Casa Santana, Saucy Spirit, recently bought by Pernod Ricard. Ron Botero is named after one of Colombia's most famous painters and made in the same place as Medellin rum. And Santa Fe rum is made near Bogota by another big state-owned alcohol producer. Pasa rum buys spirit from Varela Hermanos in Panama, which also produces Abelo. With the monopoly over, moonshine is booming, so look out for new artisan distillers here. Now to Guyana. Previously British Guyana is often grouped with Caribbean rums because of colonial connections. But we'll stick to modern geography. Dutch settlers introduced sugarcane 1620s, British Guyana from 1831 to 1966, taken from the Netherlands 1814, once home to over 300 sugar plantations lining the banks of the Demerara River, each with their stills producing their own distinctive rums from Demerara sugar molasses. However, the centuries plantations consolidated. By the 1930s, there are 230 and only 18 in 1958. In 1975, the Guyanese government began privatising sugar plantations, so it fell to 3 distilleries, Diamond, Enmore and Outfoot. After merger and closure, to date only 1 distillery remains. Diamond Distillery, or DDL, secured geographic indication GI in 2017 and acquired various stills and equipment previous to distilleries. The Versailles single wooden pot still, the Port Miron and Enmore coffee stills really give these rums its unique profile, a very heavy bodied distillate and backbone to many British Navy style rum brands. El Dorado rum, Pirate rum and Royal rum. Demerara dark rum goes back to the 19th century with caramel prepared from Muscovado sugar. Much of Guyana rum exports are overproof rum, and Diamond Distillery has a capacity to produce in excess of 26 million litres, one of the largest supplies of bulk rum in the world and popular with independent bottlers. Now, French Guiana was a French colony in the 1930s. There were 17 distilleries, but only 1 survives. Rum Saint Maurice since 1858, Rum Agricole aged in ex-bourbon, Rum Toucan is a famous brand, and there's some iconic old vintage art labels of French Guiana rum, the Creole culture. Paraguay next. Traditional Paraguayan rum is called Caña Paraguaya, is a rum aged in barrels or vats made from native Paraguayan tree called incenso, using organic molasses. Jules Verne rum is made from organic molasses, part of the world's oldest organic and fair trade certified sugar mill. Legado sources water from the purest aquifer in the world, the Guarani Aquifer. Hogazel Distillery is a German rum producer in Paraguay, founded in 2014 with Marianne de Paraguay brand. Papagayo is a single estate rum, craft distilled in an area famous for its cane sugar. And Fair rum, named because it's fair trade certified, is made at Otasa Distillery, 5 years in bourbon barrels and bottled in cognac in France. Now to Peru. Ron Cartavio, the XO rum, uses Solera system Tamari casks, matured in American oak, French Limousin and Slovenian casks. Ron Milenario is a rum brand from Peru since 1950, now owned by Fabio Rossi since 2004. He used to own the Rum Nation brand. Many rum fans out there will know this brand. And it's over to Suriname. Suriname is a small country between Guyana and French Guiana on the northeast coast of South America, 17th century Dutch colonial trading post. Surinese rums have been made since 1882. Suriname alcohol beverages, known as SAB, is a national producer and makes brands like Black Cat rum and Bordeaux rum. Lastly, we visit Venezuela. Venezuela has DOC control origin denomination from 2003. All DOC Ron de Venezuela rums have to be aged for a minimum of 2 years in oak casks made from Venezuelan sugarcane, usually molasses, and have an alcohol content between 40 and 50%. About a dozen or so brands, Venezuelan and Maestro Roneros, the rum masters, the blenders, are often chemical engineers at sugar refineries. Distillation about efficiencies and volumes. Fractional blending creates a smoother final spirit. Angostura bitters went on to be a famous rum brand, had origins in Venezuela. Dauza Distillery makes rum for a few brands, Diplomatico, Cacique and Pampero, both owned by Diageo. Cacique was first marketed in 1959 in best-selling rum, Venezuela and South America. Diplomatico from 1959, family-owned, current owners since 2002, uses molasses and sugarcane honey. 7 stills, 3 pot and 4 column stills. Copper pot stills from Scotland, 1959. Diplomatico Reserve exclusive is the brand flagship, blended 12 years old. Sweetened rum with mass appeal. Caxa is a bulk distiller for a number of brands like Ron Cañaveral, Baraka and Ron Robla, who I know very well from working beside each other at many rum festivals. Distillery Carupano's historic tradition dates back to 1762. The eastern state of Sucre, San Teresa, 1796, another famous brand, but quoted controversy because of its political support. Zafra, the Spanish term for the sugarcane harvest, and Venezuela's rum is very much in a Spanish style, using the Solera system, made famous in sherry wines. where liquid is matured and married in vats. In recent times, many Venezuelans have moved to Spain because of the troubles at home. For Trinidad, Tobago, other islands, check out my Caribbean region video. So South American rum is a story of Arguente de Caña, overproof rums, Spanish Solera rums, French Agricole style, single estate blended and British Navy style. Tell us what you think of South American rum. Share your favourites in the comments and watch the other videos in this series. If you're interested in projects, contact us at hendotalks.com. As always, welcome your feedback. I hope this was useful to you in some way, and until next time, thanks very much for watching.